Hello, Turdville. Mr. Fix again. I'm trying to get through the process of putting up another video, and I'm trying to do it with my new computer. And it's not as easy as I thought it would be. I've already been rejected a few times. Now, at some point, my daughter and I are going to sit down and work on this and actually get some production quality. She was showing me during the week where I could put backgrounds in and actually put myself on the set of CNN or something like that. And that should be really cool. But I'm not good enough to do that, and I don't yet know how to record a video on this computer and then transfer it up. But I am going to learn how to do that. Right now, I'm just doing it the old way of just recording it on YouTube. And it's already kicked me off a couple times. I just cleaned all my cookies and stuff, and hopefully it'll go for more than a minute this time. We'll see. Anyway, as far as world events are concerned, the disappearing Putin and all of the stuff in Russia, I don't know. We'll never know on that. I think there's some crazy stuff going on behind the scenes. Listening to the radio the last couple of days, there seems to be quite a war going on between Obama and literally the rest of the world. He's taking on Putin, he's taking on Netanyahu, he's taking on all of the European Union leaders. He's really crashing and burning this country in every way he can. He's got no friends anymore. And God only knows how long this is going to last. We'll have to see. I'm reading today that is like Germany and England and France and Italy are all going to the Chinese monetary bank or whatever their clearing bank as opposed to working through the Western version. And you know that was predicted, and sooner or later the United States will be isolated from the rest of the world. That seems to be the real purpose of all these sanctions. It has nothing to do with harming other countries. It's all designed to boomerang back on the United States. And that's happening with nobody doing anything about it. So, keep preparing for what's coming. Sooner or later, this dollar is not going to be worth very much. And that'll be wildly reflected in what it's going to cost just to survive. So, at any rate, I'm feeling well. Got my shoulder back going really good. No problems there. Um, it's a miracle, but things do heal. And was able to lift lots of heavy stuff this week, no problem. And that's good. So we've got a nice day today. The sky was covered with chemtrails all morning, although the sky looks blue right now. They're expecting about 5 inches of snow tomorrow, so it ought to be a real icky mess for me, especially since I'm going to be outside for most of it. Um, as far as some of the discussions that were going on dots and things like that, I didn't get a chance to post anything with the latest greatest war, and it had nothing to do with me, but it looked like old territory, where belief systems are in conflict, and a lot of times I think opinions are made out of other people that their motives aren't good just because they disagree, and that's not true. I know that from my own personal point of view, and from the people on both sides, those let's say trying to save my soul, those that are helping me understand the world that we live in. Um, it's just different perspectives on things, and some people are getting offended. Um, best I could say is get over it. Uh, Seriously, there's a lot to learn, and using little petty grievances is only working against you. I feel bad for the people that dropped off the forum. Um, especially in this time, that seems to still be one of the best sources of information there is out there, especially discussing it. Trying to decide what is and is not relevant. California lawyer left a beautiful piece on Main Street the other day about talking about what information in a world of information overload. It's very easy to focus on a whole bunch of irrelevancies. I've certainly been guilty of that myself. And I'm trying to narrow it down. Obviously, everything in the mainstream news is irrelevant, other than what people are talking about. I've let's say slighted all of the prophecies to that realm too, because you know we're smart enough to figure out where this is all headed if nothing changes, and nothing does look like it's changing. It's going full steam ahead. So we've got to figure that out. I did a post yesterday about some of the open questions, and thinking about it while I was doing carpentry yesterday, is that I think we have figured out a lot of this stuff. Even though very few agree, um, it does look like the original one world order, the global empire that the elites have been trying to put together, has gotten derailed, and it's gotten derailed a few times. And that doesn't mean that the United States is out of trouble. And that doesn't mean that there isn't going to be some hard times going forward for the rest of the world, because the control matrix was put in place to make itself necessary, right? And now other countries see the writing on the wall. They're doing what they can to get out of it. The ones that get out first are going to do the best. The ones that wait till the messy end of things, they're not going to do so good. And as far as America is concerned, it looks like it's planning on going down as low as it can get. And it's going to have a lot of help. Our commander in chief isn't making any friends, like I just said. And, I'm just kind of praying that the rest of the world doesn't see the populace of this country as the enemy, but as the parasites in Washington, D.C., that aren't just parasites on their own populace, but have been pillaging the rest of the planet as well. They're making a lot of enemies. Um, on the home front, daughter's doing good. She's been taking a required course in high school. It's needed for graduation, called economics. As you can imagine, she doesn't agree with anything being taught there. And she had that great question of, do I go along to get along, or do I confront what's being taught as just pure propaganda? And she's been threading that needle very carefully. She does written reports that are based on truth, while in addition to that, handing in required homework on articles from Newsweek, which are completely irrelevant. So, she's been doing stuff. We just listened to a prepper on Reluctant Preppers. Edward G. Griffin was up, and she was like saying, "Wow, I thought that guy was like, 50, like he had done the creature from Jekyll Island like 100 years ago." And I said, "No, no, 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 no." He might have had black hair then, and he's gray haired now, but he's, still out there doing what he needs to do. Just to, tell people what's really going on. And I told you need to do that too. And she's been doing that. She's been doing that in school, and she's, as part of a discussion, she worked from the premise that all taxes were theft, and she made a lot of enemies. A lot of people just do not see it that way. A lot of kids in her own class have never, ever looked at things the way she does. And she's building her own little core group, little alliance there. It's really fun to watch. Um, and some friendships are shifting back and forth. And it's funny because just like I can make a lot of enemies by rebuking, let's say, scripture. There's a good example because we've been using it lately. But just going against the mainstream narrative, as it's being taught every day in school and hammered home, uh, it's the same thing. They get real like you're nuts. That's she hears that a lot now, and she's creating herself a backbone. Like like no, I'm not, because everything she does, she researches. Everything she says, she can source, and she's better at it than I am. And I'm learning how to do that myself. It's not putting something out there, off the top of my head, or at least just saying so when I do. I mean, I'll admit, sometimes I just don't have the time to go back and find something that I posted, 6 months ago, which, I'd already done the research, then read it, came up with an understanding, and then it comes up in a discussion today, and it's like, well, where'd you hear that? I said, I read it 6 months ago, and I realized that's not doing anybody much good, you know. But that's just the way the nature of it is, and don't hold that against anyone else. I know that, figuring out what's at the bottom of the rabbit hole is a lot of work. Now, I try hard not to, alienate too many people as I go through my day. I've got some really good friends that go to Mass every week, that believe that the Bible is the one, and only word, and they're good people. And I'm not holding that against them. And I don't hold that against anybody here on the forums. You know, I will support my own arguments with what I believe to be true, and I don't expect anything different from anyone else. I want to make that abundantly clear. In my own experience, I've seen, dogma as a major roadblock to actually figuring out what's going on. That's my experience. I know that that's demonic in other people's opinion. So be it. Okay. Um, but I just want to say that I don't hold grudges, and I read a piece on the thread of faith before by one that goes by Just Dale. It was about one page back, and it actually talked. I don't know how I become the topic of discussion, but it seems to happen on occasion. Maybe I post too much. I don't know. Where I came to the defense of Mad Hatter before he was using that moniker. Well, it's the kind of person I am. I don't like seeing people trounced for no apparent reason, and I don't like seeing people that seem to have ideas that are way out there, you know, um, impugned without really looking at the ideas. Now, I don't agree with Mad Hatter on very much, quite frankly, but I do support his right to post. Simple as that, you know. I mean, I got to be consistent, and you know, yesterday I saw a post that was, 5 pages, I'm guessing, but it was a really long post. It's all about how he's going to be an intermediary between Obama and Putin. Like that's going to happen. And, I'll admit, like I've been saying all along, nobody's on ignore, but when I see something like that, I just scroll to the next one. I don't think about it much. And, I get on to things that are interesting. The discussion about the medicinal use of mushrooms, that was interesting. Um, this is stuff that I, as a prepper, plan on, you know, learning more about this and trying to apply as much of it as I can. And with that, let's see, can't see a thing. Just wanted to wrap it all up before my magic 15-minute limit. But I don't have a whole lot else to say. I just wanted to say hi, share this beautiful day with you, and tell you I'll be back at doing this more seriously on something that resembles a schedule in the near future. I've got to work out a few domestic issues as far as, when I say I want to sit down with my computer, let's say between 6 and 8 p.m., and work on it and do something. Well, that all sounds good when you just say that, but then if there's somebody else there, it doesn't work. It really doesn't. I haven't been able to set aside, a specific block of time. The only reason I'm doing this today is that my wife and my daughter went out shopping. And here I am. So, that being said, unless I pay them to go shopping more often, the scheduling thing has to be worked out. Okay. So at any rate, have a nice day. I'll talk to you soon.